And you get to a point where you're like, I was at a meeting. I'm so bad. I'm at a meeting a couple of months ago, and I'm looking at the people in the room. It was with some suppliers. I work in the procurement department, and it was with suppliers. And I'm thinking to myself, oh my God, that guy has insulin resistance. Oh, that guy, he's not looking healthy. And I'm looking at these salesmen, and I'm like, I could diagnose them.
Cecilia, how did you find carnivore?
Well, it was I'll go briefly over this, but it was a long process of, trying out different foods. Mostly I was looking for a cure for my psoriasis and my arthritis. But I've been on it now for almost 3 years. Uh, and last time we interviewed about a year and a half ago, I had just gotten rid of all of my psoriasis. After a year and a half on the diet, I got rid of all my psoriasis, and it was great. It was great. It's so nice not to have it. I do have dry patches where the psoriasis was, but it's a lot better than dealing with the psoriasis. But Yeah, that's how I found carnivore. I was, I tried doctor after doctor, and I just had to find my own way. I found a blog in England, about someone mentioning gluten causing their psoriasis. So I tried gluten first and took it from there. Did an elimination diet, but I discovered carnivore through Michaela Peterson after listening to her TED talk about allergic to everything. And now here we are 3 years later. That's how I found carnivore.
Nice. And so that
Yeah.
it also helped you with your arthritis?
Yes, I had psoriatic arthritis. It was horrible. I had to put my hands under the water every morning when I woke up because they were so swollen. And I had two hand surgeries that I probably didn't need for carpal tunnel because my hands were always so swollen. And yeah, it's gone. It's completely gone. Within a couple of weeks after starting carnivore, the psoriatic arthritis completely went away. Took a much longer time for the psoriasis. But I found out that, cheese was kind of a culprit at the end. So I had cut everything out, but I was eating only animal products. So I cut out cheese, and then the psoriasis completely went away. But I've discovered since our last talk, Dave, that it wasn't the cheese because I read all the comments underneath, and somebody said, "Oh, I wonder why cheese has affected her, and maybe it's the type of cheese." And they were absolutely right. It was the type of cheese. So I tried like goat cheese. I've tried different types of cheese. So now I can have cheese. I just can't have processed cheese, which in the United States, you don't know if you're getting processed cheese. You're getting in the deli, and but I looked at the package on the counter in the deli, and it says right on it, cheese food, processed cheese food on it. It doesn't even say cheese. So now, because it's so difficult to find anything healthy in the United States, I get cheeses from France now, and which are much healthier. And that's but
Sounds a little bit
hey,
like in Japan, like they have something here called natural cheese. And that
yeah.
sounds great until you work out that natural is a trademark, and it's like, ah,
Yeah, yeah, that's right. You don't know what the heck you're eating anymore. That's what I was saying that to my daughter-in-law. Yeah, I can't even go to a restaurant because I went to New Hampshire. I went to Algonquin, New Hampshire last summer, and I got a cheeseburger. You're thinking, okay, cheeseburger. I know the cheese, but at the time, but they put bread in the hamburger. They mixed it. When I was eating it, it tasted like a Salisbury steak, and I I'm like, oh my god, it had gluten, and I had an outbreak of psoriasis after I got rid of it. So I a couple of times I've gone to different restaurants, and I don't know if it's in the sauces or whatever, but I always have an outbreak. So I don't go to restaurants anymore. I just don't trust them anymore, except for McDonald's. I get a double quarter pounder at McDonald's and take it off the bread, and I don't have any reaction from that.
right. Yeah. Um, so, like, you've kept this going. It's almost 3 years now.
Yeah,
Um,
3 years. Yeah.
so, like, how is this fitting into your life and with work and that kind of thing?
Well, I stopped talking about it because people are sick of listening to me. I was, especially my kid, we had an argument, and I'm like, why do you talk to me like so disrespectful to me. He goes, because every time I eat, you have something to say about what I'm eating. And I'm like, because you've gained like 20 pounds in the past year because you're eating so many carbohydrates. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. You're so critical. So I thought about it and I said, okay, when I was 24 years old, I would have been just as irate at my mother if she talked to me like that. So I'm like, okay, fair enough. I'll stop talking about the diet. So now I just kind of like cringe. And I'm like, yeah, okay. When he's walking in with, beer and Taco Bell, I'm like, okay, I'm just going to go in the other room. And I don't say anything. Uh, but also how it's affected me is I stopped talking about it at work too. I think they're getting sick of me at work talking about it. And you get to a point where you're like, I was at a meeting. I'm so bad. I'm at a meeting a couple of months ago and I'm looking at the people in the room. It was with some suppliers. I work in the procurement department and it was with suppliers. And I'm thinking to myself, oh my God, that guy has insulin resistance. Oh, that guy, he's not looking healthy. And I'm looking at these salesmen and I'm like, I could diagnose them. And it's like, it's just a bad habit. I have to stop doing that. But I wanted to tell you about my grandson. So my grandson is autistic. I mentioned this in the last thing that he's autistic and he's heavy. He's very obsessed with food. So my daughter-in-law has tried different diets, but and I kept telling her, please put him on a carnivore diet. He'd do really well. He likes meat. He really
How
likes meat.
old is he?
He's 9. He's 9 years old and he's heavy. And I was so afraid of him developing diabetes because I've watched so many videos. I've watched all of your videos. I've watched so many doctors' videos. And carnivore kind of connects in with diabetes and metabolic diseases. I feel like I'm a medical doctor now. I feel like I'm sure you've watched millions of videos too, Dave. But I feel like I know everything from the mitochondria all the way to the outer epidermis. Like I know everything now. Uh, or at least I play a doctor on TV. That's what I tell people. I play a doctor on TV, so I know these things. But my grandson, I was really worried about him because every time he comes over every weekend, every Saturday and Sunday, I have my grandson. I have my 2 grandsons. They're both autistic, but the younger one, the 8-year-old, he's kind of the opposite. He has language. He talks. He's very smart. He has a very high IQ. He can read it at like a 5th grade level. He's in the 1st grade, so he's the opposite. But he has crappy social skills. But he only eats sugar. This kid only eats sugar, so he eats pancakes and cupcakes and donuts. I can't get him to eat any protein when he comes over, and I always worry about him. And I worry about my other one who's old. He's overweight, like by 40, 50 pounds, and I worry about him. So I try to feed them right when they come over, but the only meat I can get into the little one is just chicken and hot dogs. But the boy eats no fat at all. But anyway, I really want to talk about the older one. See, the older one, he's 9 years old, and he's autistic, nonverbal, doesn't talk, and he goes to a special school or a wonderful school here in Massachusetts. And anyway, I've been begging her to put him on a carnivore diet because he loves meat so much, but he's an obsessive compulsive eater, and I think a lot of it because he's autistic and he doesn't know how to really do anything, that he eats out of boredom. So she tried, cutting his calories down. She tried cutting his sugar down. And I'm like, why don't you just put him on a keto diet or something like that? Or put him on carnivore. And she was so afraid to put him on carnivore. So finally, about three weeks ago, she took him to the doctors for a checkup, and he had a very bad checkup. He weighs 170 pounds. He's 9 years old, and he's almost 5 feet. So, but he weighs 170 pounds, and his A1C was 6.4, and it scared the crap out of my daughter-in-law. And she said to me, okay, all right, let's try Atkins. So I was very happy with Atkins because Atkins 20 carbs a day, which is very similar to carnivore. Atkins, carnivore, ketovore, they're all the same, half a dozen of one, 6 of another. It depends on how strict you want to go. And so she put him on an Atkins diet, and within 10 days, he had dropped, right away, he dropped 7 pounds within the first 10 days. Now it's the 3rd week, we're in the 3rd week. He's dropped 11 pounds, and he was on 2 different medications, one for sleep. I'm not sure the name of the drug they gave him for sleep, but he had actually fell asleep on his own. And I also gave him melatonin when he came over and to get him to sleep through the night. He no longer needs that sleep medication. And it's only been 3 weeks. And he no longer needs his GERD medication. So here he is 9 years old. He's on alprazolam. I forget the name of it, but it's it's for good. He was vomiting a lot. But this boy could eat a whole bag of chips. He could eat a box of donuts. He very compulsive. Uh, so you could give him, even the doctor said to my daughter-in-law, just give him different foods, but she really wasn't a chef. And, a professional dieter, like all women are in the United States, we're all professional dieters. So she was so hooked up on the calorie count. And I remember, I gave him a cheeseburger before he went home in the morning, and she's like, "Oh, that's too heavy for him. You can't give him something like that for breakfast." And I'm like, "Well, what do you want me to give him?" She's like, "Can you give him oatmeal or a bowl of cereal?" I'm like, "No, he'd be better off with a cheeseburger. High fat, no sugar. Don't raise your insulin in the morning." What? And she didn't get it at the time, but since he started the diet, she understands how it works now. I was explaining to her how it works. What you have to do is you can't raise your insulin levels. From watching thousands of videos, and I played that doctor on TV. But you can't raise your insulin if you don't raise your insulin levels. That's the trick. Insulin is the driver for everything. Out of millions of videos that I've watched, that's what I've discovered. Insulin drives everything, every metabolic disease. Even my grandson's cognitive ability has gotten better. For the first time in 9 years, he started waping himself. He never waped himself when he went to the bathroom, and he never had any interest in waping himself. He would just move over, let his mother wape him or me wape him. But this time he grabbed the tissue paper out of from his mother, and he wanted to do it himself. His cognitive ability as an autistic child has improved, and it's only been 3 weeks. So that's from eating all
Wow.
meat. And believe me, when he was in my house all weekend, I didn't give him any carbs at all. He was all carnivore all weekend. And this is what I fed him: cheeseburger in the morning. I made him meatloaf. I made him, meatballs. And I made him, I rolled up cold cuts when he was looking for a snack. When he was in the cabinets looking for a snack, I rolled up cold cuts, cheese, pepperoni, salami. I rolled them up and I put them on a plate, and I gave him a little ranch dressing, which is low in sugar. And he loved that. He loved that treat. He loved it. And so you can give him the different foods. He ate a whole bag of pork rinds, so he's eating probably 3,000 calories a day as a 9-year old, still compulsively eating, he lost 11 pounds just from eating all protein and fat. It's incredible. Um, so my daughter-in-law is very happy. She's really struggled with him. It's been tough with an autistic child, but he feels better about himself. And they went to the movies to see Snow White last Sunday. They brought the boys because he loves Disney. Both of them do. And she got popcorn, and she said, "I'm going to let him have a little cup." And when she gave it to him, he didn't want it. He pushed the popcorn away. It's like
Really?
yeah, he pushed it away. She was so proud of him. She's like, "Oh, see, my guy wanted to stay on his diet." I'm like, Tammy, I think he just feels better. And I think he realizes that popcorn makes him feel crappy. So I, I I'm curious to see how his cognitive ability improves as he progresses with the diet, because I've done a lot of research, and it was in the comment section of my last interview with you, Dave. Somebody commented, because I mentioned I had an autistic child. They said, "Hey, carnivore helps cognitive ability." Somebody put it in the comment section. And I never forgot that. And I told my daughter-in-law, and she's like, "I can't put him on all meat. He'll be miserable." He was never miserable, not once. He loves meat. They took him to the Texas Roadhouse here in Boston. It's a big famous Texas Roadhouse. And they got him a big giant prime rib, and he loved it. He ate the whole thing. He didn't want any bread. They let him eat a little bit of chili, not a lot, but he pulls it's so funny. He pulls the kidney beans out of the chili and just eats the meat. So, but yeah, so it's amazing. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
It
I watched a couple of videos about how autism can really help with the carnivore diet. Autism. Because you
mm,
think about it, it's the brain and it's fat. And the autistic child's brain, they have all their brain cells, they're just not connected. So if the carnivore diet repairs the mitochondria, that's the very smallest part of your cell, right? So it makes sense that it would repair the brain. It, I mean, I'm not expecting miracles, but him just wiping his own butt is a great cognitive milestone. Him sleeping through the night, him waking up in a dry bed, those are all cognitive milestones. And those things have happened in the past couple of weeks. So
and when
it's
you
amazing.
think that's happened in 3 weeks, imagine
Yeah.
6 months from now.
I know. I just hope and pray she doesn't give up and, just goes with it. Because, she's very gung ho, and he's not craving the sugar now. He doesn't ask for any snacky desserts. He's asking for less and less.
And the thing is, I mean,
Yeah.
as he improves, I mean, that's also going to make caring for him much easier, right? So
Right.
you might
Yeah.
spend more time in the kitchen cooking steak or something, but at the end of the day, you know, your child gets better, and it's obviously going to be better for your own kind of mental health, right?
That's right. That's right. Absolutely. That's why I think, I mean, they say it helps schizophrenia, carnivore diet. It helps all these other, bipolar. I mean, it's incredible. I mean, I don't know if it's antidotal or if anyone's done any research on it but it's, it's amazing. And I'm so glad RFK is at the helm, because he's going to get rid of all this crap that's in our food, all this addictive crap. I was telling my daughter-in-law they don't allow Ritz crackers or cinnamon toast crunch in like France and England. They don't allow them in those countries, well, because they have poisons in them.
It's pretty scary when you hear that, the products
Yeah.
are outright banned, or they'll only allow the products if they use different ingredients and stuff. It's really quite scary.
It's scary that they ship the Europeans the good stuff and just poison the Americans. So the pharmaceutical companies can make the medicines. And the chemical companies, they get money on both sides. The chemical companies get money from the pharmaceuticals and they get money from the food industry. And then you have the pharmaceuticals, right, making the medicines to offset the chemicals that the chemical company gave to the food industry. It's a mess. It's a mess. And the administration is uncovering this whole mess. It's a disaster here. And I'm so glad. I'm so glad that they're uncovering it. And Big Pharma can no longer control everything in the United States. They're going to make it illegal not to advertise, like in other countries, for the pharmaceutical. That's going to be a big fight, but that's his
That
next
would be
fight.
a really big thing. Yeah, that
Yeah,
I mean, it might be, yeah, it might be a big fight to get that changed, but if that does change, that's massive.
yeah.
And so regarding work, I mean, how are you feeling about work these days?
Oh, I love my job. I've discovered I love my job. Well, I've been working on a big project. I'm implementing a new product into our ERP system. So I've been working on this big project, and it's coming to fruition. So I'm very excited about it. And I was thinking to myself, I am never retiring. 10 years ago, I said to myself, well, I can't wait till I'm 65 and I can retire. And then the closer I got to that age, but then when I started this carnivore diet, I'm like, oh, I think I might get another job. And then when I talked to you, I was thinking about getting another job. And then I'm like, yeah, no one's going to hire me. I'm in my 60s. No one's going to hire you. They're not going to tell you, but they're not going to hire you. They're going so, so I said, oh, what the heck? I like my job. I just hate the commute because it's 11 miles away and it takes me an hour to get there in the traffic. I have to deal with Boston traffic every day. So yeah, it's 11 miles. It takes me, the shortest time is 1 hour. Yeah, it's incredible. Yeah, so I work with people. It's so funny at Boston College. So many people are retiring. Some like people around me, they're retiring. My boss's boss just retired. She's my age. God bless her. She just retired. And I said to myself, oh, I said to her at the party, oh, I'm so jealous. And I thought to myself, I'm not jealous at all. What the heck is she gonna do? What is she gonna do? Like, because I'm the type of person that has to be busy all the time. So if I'm not, I said to myself, I'm just gonna stay at my job. I work with this woman in human resources. She's like my hero. She's 79 years old. I thought she was in her 60s. She's 79. I said, I'm going to stay because there's 80 there. Boston College people never leave. The oldest woman who worked there was 95 years old. It's such a great place to work. She was 95 years older. She's since passed away. She passed away at 101, but at 101 years old. But she retired from Boston College. Her name was Lillian Reisman. And people at BC tend to stay. So I said to myself, all right, I'm pretty comfortable in my position. I'm going to stay until I'm fired or I'm infirm. So, and now when I have that mindset, I'm like, oh my God, okay, I'm going to be working for the next 20, 25 years. So what am I going to do? And maybe I should move. I think of there's always something tinkering in my head. But the next step. Uh, so
Wow.
I'm going to stay there. But I
Yeah.
like my job. It's a nice place to work. BC is a good place to work. Well, at least my area is. I work in the finance area, and I've been working with these people for years and years, and they're a great group of people. And it's fun working with the students, and we get a lot of yeah, different types of people. It's a good. I'm going to stay. I'm like, and if I get bored, I'll just go to a different department. It'll be like a brand new job. It's
Right.
huge. The place is huge.
So, how
Yeah.
many times are you eating a day now?
I'm down to twice a day.
Right.
So if I want to gain weight, I'll eat 3 times a day. So I have the whole trick now to how much weight I gain. If I want to gain weight, lose weight, or maintain weight, I know exactly what to eat. It's great. So usually, and I'm a very routine person, so I eat the same thing pretty much every day. I always have 3 eggs and 4 pieces of bacon at noontime. And I'm still cooking it in the office. And my boss is still commenting on it. He's like, why don't you have a vegetable? Why are you making those eggs? You're stinking up the whole office. Every day he has a comment about it. Every single day he says something different. And it was so funny. Yesterday he walked in and he was coming from a meeting, and I was just about to put the bacon in the microwave, and I said to him, "Oh, you're just in time. I'm going to microwave my bacon." So he's like, "Oh, you're very funny, Celia." And then he went in his office and he shut the door. But
You
anyway,
should
that's
give
what
him a shock. You should say to him next time you see him at the microwave, you say, "Oh, I'm doing fish today."
yeah, I know. So then I come home and I usually have a hamburger. That's my favorite. I discovered a farm right here in Massachusetts called the Lilac Farm. I love this place. They deliver. This is exactly what I eat every month. I eat 21 pounds of hamburger, ground beef. I eat 5 pounds of chicken wings. I eat 2 pounds of chicken breast, and I eat 4 steaks. That's what I eat every single month. So I have it down to the steaks are expensive, so I have them like once a week. 4 steaks a month. But I could eat hamburger. I never get sick of hamburger. I love it. And the more I eat, the more I want it rare. That's like a really weird thing. I used to have it fully cooked, but now I just love it rare. that's that's a new thing for me. I used to like it.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's weird because my father used to eat when he used to make meatballs. He used to eat the raw meat, and I used to go, "Daddy, that's gross. Don't eat that." And now when I'm like, preparing it, it smells so good. I'm like, "What? That smells good. I feel like a lion." So
Nice. So you've just got a standing order basically with that farm?
yes. Oh, and they deliver 12 dozen eggs. Yeah, too. I get 12 dozen eggs delivered. They're all pasture raised, organic. Love it. Yeah. And it's about $400 a month. It's worth it. It's worth every penny.
And the thing
So,
is though, people would say, "Oh, it's
yeah.
it's so expensive." But that $400 a month, that's it. That's all you're spending on yourself, right? There's no snacks and bits and
Nope.
pieces and
Nope. I mean, I have been drinking tea a couple of days a week, so I got a little bit of milk for the tea. I'll buy a quart of milk, but when I go to the grocery store, the only things I buy are things for my animals. Like I buy lettuce. I have canaries. I have like 7 canaries, and I buy them lettuce. They like to eat lettuce and celery. So I buy them vegetables, and then yeah, that's all I buy. I just buy animal food for my animals, food for my cats. And when I go to the grocery store, paper towels and stuff like that. But yeah, I can't think of anything else I buy unless my son requests stuff. I did make something for my grandson the other day. I made
Mm.
cloud bread. Have you ever had this? I made it with cream cheese, 2 ounces of cream cheese, and 4 eggs, and it came out really fluffy. He loved it. He loved it. It was such a nice snack for him. And I gave him some sugar-free marinara sauce. He dipped it in, and that was a really much better than a bag of chips snack. It was his carnivore snack.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Kelly Hogan. Have you ever heard of Kelly Hogan?
yeah.
She's a carnivore. She has this awesome recipe for cloud bread.
So,
Yeah.
Cecilia, if people want to reach out to you, do you have, any way of getting in contact, like any social media?
Cecilia.mcclay, MCCLAY, at bc.edu. So And the only reason why I'm giving that out is because you can go on the website and get it. So anybody can get it. It's open to the public. So if anyone wants to reach out, because I gave my Hotmail last time and I never went into it. And like I went into it later and I'm like, oh, darn, these people think I'm ignoring them. And I emailed them later. It was so nice talking to you again, Dave. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming on and giving us an update, and so nice
Yeah.
to hear about the effects it's having on your grandson. That's amazing.
I'll touch base with you in 6 months. We'll see where we're at.
That's
So,
awesome.
or if he has any other cognitive improvements, I'll let you know.